Hello and welcome to this session with Contextualizing Dance online. Sorry, my name is Jeb Nissen. I work here at Bora Bora, that is a theater venue in Aarhus for contemporary dance. With me today is freelance dramaturg Thomas Schaub, which is also a co-curator of this Contextualizing Dance program, and critic Mona Dittmar from Copenhagen, that is going to moderate this talk that we're going to do today. What we aim for here is like half an hour's talk between us three on the, and it is a kind of a continuum of what we try to do at the symposium here in Aarhus in December 2019, and what we are going to talk about today is the differences between what it looks like from the independent art scene and from the institution, as I'm situated in the institution and Thomas is the freelance and independent scene in this talk. The overall contextualizing dance and what we are trying to do with the online is that we would like to continue the conversation. We hope there's a lot of people listening out there looking at this, and we know there's also a lot of people that are eager to contribute to this conversation. So this time it will be just us talking, but we aim for like every second month to have a talk, and as we continue, we hope also to that people can join in and join the discussions with longer sessions, leading up to another symposium, hopefully next year in June. So, and then I would like to give the word to Mona because she will be moderating this talk.
Yes, and I would like to say welcome to you too, and to the people who are listening to this. And I really think we should kickstart this new round of talking about contextualizing by contextualizing this in the Corona situation, because that is what we are all immersed in and trying to deal with right now. So it would be absurd not to talk about it. And so much has changed since, December last year. It's incredible. And I mean, the consequences, the fact that we're having this online conversation is also a consequence of the new situation. And also one of the positive consequences that actually we're trying to find new ways of communicating that are maybe more sustainable. And I would like to discuss this. I mean, the big picture also about this Corona situation has also forced us to rethink the value of art and how we relate to the audience. I mean, it's what is the audience? I mean, some of these questions I would like us within this half an hour to try to address. But I'd like to start from a very concrete position, talking about your situation right now. I mean, as an institutional dramaturge and as an independent dramaturge, how is your situation right now? How do you feel how has Corona put its mark on the way you work, or the question you ask? Jeppe, will you start? You
Well,
are sort of the
I can try to start. It's because of course, I've given it some thought before, and in some ways, I think it's only coming now. We've been talking about it, and but in a lot of ways, as an institution, and with a lot of obligations to continue yeah, to continue the production and to help the artists going forth in what they are doing. I think it's we are very much trying in a way to go back to what was before. Of course, we have like this online thing, but we already talked about that. There's so many things going on online before the Corona situation, even that we talked about how can we use this media also to get people to talk better together. And maybe it's also because like we have been, yeah, been doing this for quite some months now, that it's already internalized so much in our process that I don't think of it as much as something that has happened after Corona, or or then it's something that kind of is obvious to do. So in a lot of ways, I think we try as an institution to keep what was before and haven't really thought so much yet of how has it changed our ways of working, except for a lot of bother and a lot of rebookings and a lot of cancellations and all these things. But maybe in the like months to come, it will start to grow more and more on us, I think.
When I really like the fact that you're talking from your black box position. I mean, it gives the picture of, I mean, you're being more securely installed in your institution,
Yeah.
whereas Thomas is talking from his private apartment. So
Yeah.
that is one of the starting points. But I would also like to ask a little more about, Jeppe, you say we have been doing this for a long time. Are you referring to using online communication? And has that been accelerated, even if it hasn't been started by Corona? Has your way of using online communication, has it increased also in relation to your audience?
I think it would anyway increase in relation to our audience, even without this pandemic upon us. I think we have been talking about how to do that because, like, for example, almost all our promotion material is online. Almost everything of it, for example. And we talked about how can we change that from promotion material until onto some content that would be more interesting or would be more how to say it, identity building or yeah. And that's so in that sense it's been like in our thoughts that we're going in this direction, but yeah, Corona has, of course, accelerated it that everything needs to be there because that people are there and nowhere else at the
But I
moment.
mean, a lot of institution has taken this chance to present actual work on online
Mm,
media. So it has been a new digital format. We talk in Denmark also about digi-drama or digi-theater.
mm.
So this has really been pushed. I mean, have you been engaging in that kind of practice?
No, no, we've talked a lot about it, but I think we are in this. I I think we believe in the how to say it analog meeting, that's kind of the speciality of performing arts, and that especially the movement is really hard to transfer via a flat screen. So in that sense, we actually decided at some point not to do this and not to pursue that direction, but kind of make the things around it live on online instead. So it could be talks like this or
Mm.
talks with yeah, people before or after, or like using the online to extend the experience, or yeah, I don't know if experience is the right word for it, but like extend the what happens in the room live, but not to present live online because I don't think any of us really feels that it can do in that sense.
But maybe it can do something else. I mean, we
Yeah,
have had
yeah. But then
video
it's kind
cast
of
for a long time.
another, yeah.
Yeah, that's another challenge. But I like the fact, I mean, you
Mm,
present yourself as a man who keeps the business running.
mm,
And really, and that is also the challenge or the responsibility of the institution. I mean, so, but you're
mm.
trying to rethink also at the same time, but
Yeah.
basically keep the wheels going. So, Thomas, how does it look from your position?
Yeah, indeed. As you said in the beginning, on the one hand, we can say that a lot has changed these days, but at the same time, I also feel that not so much actually has changed for the freelancing artist, and that is very much of concern to me also. That this is very little addressed. For example, I mean, the precarious situation of freelancing artists actually continues. It's even rising. Like uncertainty, when is the next project going to be presented? Do I
Mm,
actually get funding? Will this funding system keep working? In the shorter term, it seems so, but on the longer run, I mean, the politics will need to make cuts in tax money and so on and so forth. Also that will go to the culture and so forth. But also, um, I mean, when I just look around in like how the media, the politics, the society has covered the situation of artists in our society, very little. It's
Mm,
very little addressed in the medias, and if quite often it's mostly addressing things like fairgrounds, which maybe
mm,
has a bit of a stronger tradition in Germany than in Denmark. I'm not sure, but so this kind of more entertaining forms of culture, I wouldn't even call it art. Um, well, there's a lot of or also in this kind of digi theater or digi drama that you mentioned. Maybe to also take that as an example. I think just very slowly we start to understand that this is, of course, it's a way to keep us busy, but it's also a way to quite often keep continuing the fact that I think most of the artists are not jobless, but they are not paid.
mm,
And
Hmm.
they are doing a lot of work for new formats that are really new for everyone, and that mean a lot of that you have to invest a lot of time for it. That is also, I think, just slowly the awareness of that starts.
mm,
Yeah, just thinking of the European cultural minister who was really strong with promoting the digitalization of performing arts, and then slowly understanding, oh yeah, there are some problems with that also.
mm,
Um, yeah, so I think there's a lot of insecurity, and for me, also one thing that I really miss on a more substantial level is, okay, do we really want to just keep running what has been running, maybe not really right before? And do we want to really get back there? Or do we also really want to address now take this opportunity, sorry, take this opportunity now that we have to address like really deeper issues of like also the relation between the art and the society? And um, I mean, who actually cares in a way? I mean,
mm,
when I just to maybe draw it a little bit black, just to this last
mm,
point, maybe. I mean, of course, there are slowly things becoming visible again online, and most of the time, when I hear it from colleagues, friends, also persons not involved in the arts, most of them are already saturated by the online programs.
mm,
And it doesn't really work. It's what I most of the time hear. And what is happening on the streets, in public spaces, or in the theaters that already found ways to make it happen, they don't really have much audience,
mm,
while the restaurants are full.
mm.
So I think that draws also a certain picture that we should consider in a way.
Um, that's quite a dark picture. But I mean, you are also in a much more precarious situation. I mean, in the independent scene. I mean, and I know here from Denmark also in the aid given from the official from the government. I mean, the culture was the last in the line, and they couldn't really fathom how could you live on such money. I mean, it couldn't really fit within what was already established as a way of compensating other sectors in society. I mean, the cultural sector, I mean, it's something in itself. And we even also we had a cultural minister who said at the beginning that we could not really ask for money because look at the situation. I mean, it was not really.
Hmm.
So that is. But I feel that's interesting because when you say that there's not really a need or an interest in the audience, I mean in the public for art right now, because I think the picture is somewhat different here in Denmark. What do you say about that, Jeppe?
Well, I
What do you?
think so. Our feelings, we are opening like next Saturday. On Saturday is our first night for the season, and it seems quite that people are quite interested in coming. And also, we can see that this is a good like relation to the audience, or people are coming for booking for things later on in the year as well. So for me, it seems like here in my chair that people are interested in art again, or has been all the time. I think also going to, for example, art museums in the summer has been kind of hard because they've been so full of people, actually. So in that sense, I don't feel that it's so black, but things will, of course, I think everything is kind of delayed because what we are presenting now is, of course, old stuff. So what will come after? What are we trying to do now that comes in a year's time, or and what how will that inflict on yeah on the situation? I think yeah,
That is
that's the
also,
question.
sorry, but I'm also thinking that that is exactly the one of the key questions. I mean, what can you offer as
Mm.
artists? I
Mm,
mean, I mean, the need for substantial art, I mean, is bigger, and the whole Corona situation has also forced us to really re-question what can the artists offer? Why do we think just as the elite that art is so important? And when we have this kind a crisis of this scale, somehow I also feel that you have somehow to present art that is also relating to this new situation. I mean, you
mm,
cannot just have a new round of couple dancing and that just I mean somehow you need to show us that the artists are addressing uh, these topical questions.
I mean, I would look at this a bit different. I think it's okay also to show still a couple dancing. I mean, I think it's more what concerns me more is the fact that aside maybe from this kind of bubble that we are also working in for years already, I don't see, or I wonder if if in the society in general, if there is still a discourse on what art for them actually has to offer and what it has to offer for us as a society, what it always had to offer. And I mean, with the crisis of the critical discourse, I mean, we just need to look in
Mm,
how polarized the political situation is. But coming down also to yeah, your profession. I mean, as a critique, I think you can also tell stories about this crisis of discourse for years. It's not new.
mm,
And
yeah.
that reflects directly to. I think that there's a growing misunderstanding of what art actually has to offer for us, and it can be something to just show something beautiful. Of course, why not? It doesn't need to. I think people are anyway full of watching things that address the corona crisis, the migration crisis, even though it's all important.
Mm,
um, but it's more like more really a substantial the idea of art and what it brings to us. I think
mm.
that's kind of a little bit, well, tends to be forgotten. I try to be a bit less black.
yeah, you say misunderstood or
Yeah.
forgotten, or but I mean this question of what can art do in our society and what is art, what is the value of art? I mean,
Mm.
this has been accelerated by the corona crisis,
Yeah,
but it was posed as a critical question way before that. I mean,
exactly.
we've seen this whole culturalization and aesthetization of the society in general. So we have
Yeah.
this experience culture, and what where does art have has its position in this more generalized cultural landscape that we have. We even have a cultural minister who said here in this summer. She said that there's as much culture in a sports arena than in a theater, and this is really advocating for the general cultural notion of culture, and I
Mm.
mean, in a way she's right, but what we are faced with and we have to deal with is what is the position of art within this general concept
Mm,
of culture. And
mm,
this
Mm.
is what I really think that the corona crisis has brought forward, and we have to address is, I mean, Thomas, you talked about the media not really caring, but what about the artists themselves? I mean, we
mm.
we we all have to really become sort of art warriors in a way. We have to and because you say, who cares?
But at the same time, yes, we are, yes, art warriors, but at the same time, I mean, we are kept busy and we keep ourselves busy with actionism that doesn't lead to kind of addressing that.
Hmm.
I feel like that, and I mean, I can hear this a lot also, people around me and colleagues of mine, like, we all crave for solutions, but we didn't yet really found the right question. So how can we kind of, and instead kind of we're trying to keep ourselves like busy and kind of rescheduling, finding like, making the program happen again. And of course we need visibility in a way, but I feel like there is not enough time and space to actually discuss like more profoundly, yeah, how can we address that?
Yeah.
And what kind of questions do we have to ask ourselves? Like, I mean, Black Lives Matter, just to get, that shows us how important it is to that sometimes maybe we don't need so much actionism, but we need to, we as well need to sit down, listen, and reflect first and
Mm.
foremost about our racism instead of kind of trying to fight with, it's all addresses all of us in a way.
Mm.
And we don't do that in our practice enough, I find. And that also vaporizes, I think, one basic function of the arts to provide a space for meeting where we
Mm.
meet and discuss those things and try to provoke questions rather than giving solutions. That's not what we are there for, in a way. So in that sense, yeah, art warriors, but at the same time, we are also kind of keeping ourselves silent and shut from it.
But
Yeah.
don't you think, Thomas, that during the Corona crisis, at least for what I feel that is happening here in Denmark, is that people actually have had time to sit and reflect. Maybe not so much artists, I don't know, but I think for a lot of people has had the.
As most people were busy with trying to pay their bills,
Mm.
Okay.
and then kind of trying to address all the requests for digitalization of their works, which
Mm.
is a lot of work. Trying to find the next application deadlines. And maybe not so much a problem in Germany and in Denmark, but I mean, since I work more on an international level, when you go a bit more to the south of Europe or to the east or to Iceland, which has a very different funding system than other Nordic countries, being busy with other jobs in a
Mm.
cafe, optician, and so on to pay the bills. So that's what I meant in the beginning, like that it just also reveals and kind of speeds up the precariosity of the
Mm.
freelancing artist at the same time, and that's why I kind of criticize a bit also this trying to keep busy, like, okay, now let's digitalize, um, let's do some
Yeah.
art with toilet paper, let's and so on and so forth.
So
But
so
that
in
is
a way,
also, yeah, sorry.
I was
Um,
just like you feel that in a way the artists get kind of how to say it, consumed by the market, or the artist's way of thinking is getting consumed by the market, or how to say it, because they are so occupied with all these fulfilling all these market structures, finding fundings, finding, yeah, securing their home and their food or their health, so that it's kind of hard actually also being an artist besides that. Mm.
yeah, I think I'd like to ask you, because I feel that at the bottom of this is really a fundamental insecurity about, is art really important for people out there? Yes, it is for us in the bubble,
Mm.
but is that an elitist talk? And now we are going into this elite the population in general, and this is an overall generalization I think is so dangerous to put out there as it's just for the elite. But there is
Mm.
really, I feel that the artists are trying so hard to prove to society,
Mm,
yes, we are necessary.
mm,
Look what I can make with my toilet paper. Or
mm,
what is your reaction to this? I feel we have this basic yeah, feeling of not really having our place on our position in society. Mm.
I mean, I can, yeah, for me, that is the basic issue that we have, and I think that like exactly the entanglement with the arts and the free arts with the economy and the economic system that we are in and how it works is one of the issues, because it all works very much on profit, on kind of that it addresses as much as possible people in a way, and I think that and so on and so forth. There are many other points that vaporize the very idea of the arts as we understand, and I think it's also that art. Of course, it's very good that we through the last years that was a really high rise of art education. So
Mm,
I think there have never been so much artists around in our society than before. But I think we also have to ask ourselves also, what does that mean? What do we expect from ourselves, and how do we also consider us actually being part of the society? Because indeed, as you say, we
mm,
are on one hand we are kind of, cancel culture as one example. We are kind
mm.
of excluding ourselves and building our own ivory tower, but at the same time we are in the very center of the society. And how do we kind of, yeah,
Yeah. We are even, I mean, the artists are even the model for the rest of this creative economy that we have right now. So, and the way you are as a kind of example, and another, you're totally outcast. So
Mm.
that is really the
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
How do you see it, Jeppe, from your institutional way of trying to?
Yeah. Well, I think what you said before, Thomas, about this, that art should ask the questions, and that we are trying and to give people a place where they can meet and reflect and ask questions, and yeah, reflect upon questions and upon questions within in themselves. That's very much what we seek to do here at Bora Bora. And the way I think see it is that it's very important for everyone, no matter who you are, to do this. And of course, we choose different medias for doing this. But yeah, so in that sense, I feel we have a very important task, but also I think for, well, what media we try, if it's contemporary dance or if it's yeah, couple dancing, or if it's stand-up comedy or whatever, it's still like a room for the same reflection, or place where we can try to do that. And yes, we have really a problem that we are the model for the commercial way of thinking as well, because like it's an uneven struggle. It's an
Mm,
uneven struggle. If we try to become commercial, then the laundry machine companies win because they have so much more money, and they don't need to be honest. We need to be honest in order to get this reflection right.
mm.
Well, that's because if they can say, well, buy our washing machine, and the world will ever get better for you, and is that right? I don't think so. But they can say it, and nobody, it's not a problem. But if we say it, and it doesn't work, then we have a problem.
By our way of creative thinking, and it's a race to the bottom, or what?
No, but I think that the way the how to say it, the market system is constructed is that it tries to tell us that it's basically the same. An experience is an experience, and it's basically the same if you buy some
Mm,
chewing gum, or if you go to the arts institutions, or if it's go to see contemporary dance or whatever. And uh, we need to insist that it's something else.
yeah. So,
um,
but yeah,
yeah,
and
so
what I see that you both stress right now, what is important right now is actually to use the theater venues as meeting places, or as places for
yeah.
reflection. I mean,
Hmm?
stop acting so much, stop activism, start thinking. So
Yeah.
that is, or start exchanging, or that is what you're pointing at right now. So yeah, it has been. We have covered quite a landscape right now, and we are actually going towards the end.
Oh.
Uh, but but I would just ask you, Thomas, because when we talked about for you, you also stressed that what we basically need is also a new plan A. So a new plan. Could you elaborate on this idea?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the answer what that could be,
No.
but I would like to have the opportunity to discuss this more among fellows, and with the institutions, with the free scene. And I think it comes back to what you already said before, that for me, when it also comes to use the term of practice, I think we really first and foremost need a practice of reflection.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So winding up here, I would just say that maybe the next step for these online conversations, could be towards a new plan A. So we could and where we could actually exchange ideas for inspirational practices in these dark times, but also inspirational times. Because I think one of the things about this is we're really forced to reclaim our position and rethink what the art should be, and I think also staying on a very concrete level of how are people actually working out there. Do you find new ways of working, or using the theater as a meeting place? I mean, that could be really something that we could use this platform for. So I would like to thank you, both of you, Jeppe and Thomas, and I like you listeners out there. I hope you're still hanging on. So, towards a new plan A, I mean, this could be a platform for exchange also. So thank you very much, and hopefully see you some other time.
Thank you.
Thank you.